Welcome! This is Chapter 1 of the Appalachian Mountain Club's Snowmobile Training video series. Snowmobiling can be an efficient and enjoyable way to travel and work in winter conditions, but it also comes with serious risks if proper protocols aren't followed. This video will cover getting to know your sled, the controls, pre-ride checks, starting and stopping the engine, and proper storage. Whether you're new to snowmobiling or need a refresher, following these protocols helps ensure the safety of yourself and others. Come on, let's get started. Let's start out by getting to know our sleds. We're going to be looking at the 2018 Scandeck Super Wide Track 900 Ace 4-stroke off-trail work snowmobile. What makes this a work sled starts with the suspension. Take it away, Steve.
This has got what's called pogo stick suspension, and that's specifically designed to travel through deep snow. So the snowmobile itself, because of that suspension and because of the way that the front belly pan is angled, will naturally ride uphill. So the rear end of the sled will sink into deep snow. It's not going to sink in too much because you've got a 24-inch wide track, which is the biggest anybody makes. And literally the entire front of this snowmobile, which this has an extra skid plate on front of it to protect from punctures, acts like a ski. Yeah. So if you're breaking trail and the snowmobile is at an angle, like it feels like it's going uphill, it's meant to do that. These ski skins are added to give it extra flotation. So you can see the factory skis down in there. These add an extra couple inches. So you effectively have two small points that turn, and you have one 3-foot wide point that acts like a flotation device. The other thing we have is the side guards that protect the machine in case it rolls over. This also adds leverage point. If you get stuck, people can hang on to this. Because these are structural, they're tied into the structural points on the sled. If you need to gain more balance, like if you're going across slope and you're on the snowmobile driving, you can stand on that skid frame to get your weight out over. And you can see I was using the mountain strap here, which is the thing that you hold on to actually pull on the center column of the sled to give yourself weight. If you're really running in deep snow, you're not going to be sitting down. You're going to be standing, throwing your weight around to actually maneuver the sled. Under the skid frame of the vehicle, there's a few major components that you have to make sure are always here, because this is one of those things that needs to get checked out before you drive the sled. You want to do a visual inspection to make sure that all 6 of the rollers per side are here. These actually will pop off. Sometimes ice will get wedged between the skid frame, that's this aluminum piece, and the rollers, and pop the roller off. The other main thing that keeps those slides lubricated is the actual snow you're driving on. If it's really powdery conditions and loose snow, there'll be enough snow kicked up through the windows in the track to lubricate the slides. They'll direct a spray of snow into the track frame. If that's not the case, this sled has been retrofitted with what are called ice scratchers. So there's one on each side, and these are spring tension ice scratchers that have a carbide tip. They'll direct a spray of snow into the track frame to lubricate the slides. Once you put them down, you don't have to worry about them. You can back up, drive forward. You can go either direction. They're bi-directional. They're really fantastic. In conditions like today where it's not very dusty, it's very, very compact and very, very solid, you should absolutely be running the scratchers. If you don't do that, the slides can get so hot that they will melt to the track. So you'll smell a really very strong burning plastic smell. And if you stop the sled, that melted plastic will adhere to the track windows and you won't be able to drive the sled, which is a bad problem. And then whenever you're gonna load on a trailer, or if it's super, super deep snow, like if you're breaking powder, you're breaking trail, you don't want to have these down. You wanna flip them up like that so they don't get caught on anything. But normal course of running, they're a really good idea just to have down. The windshield is designed to come off. So should you roll the sled over, God forbid, or you hit it with a branch or something, the windshield will pop off. So there's these rubber press studs everywhere, here, 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 and here, and there's a hook in front. So the whole windshield can come off. To put it back on, you hook the hook in front, and then you go around and you press these individual studs into the corresponding holes, and the windshield will pop right back on. It's also equipped with a rear skid plate. So you've got a rear skid plate, a rear bumper, rear attachment points for bungees, etc. Your chainsaw scabbard, pretty self-explanatory, put your chainsaw right in there. This has what's called a free-floating tail. With this articulating tail, the tail has movement. So the tail can ride up and over obstacles and it won't dig a hole. So you can pull that pin out, slide the receiver out, the winch can go in here, put the pin back in, same thing in the front. These pintle hooks, if you're towing something, it's really important to put the safety pin back in because they can pop out. And nothing stinks worse than being halfway up the trail and realizing you don't have your tow sled. The mirrors are adjustable. You adjust them by just spinning them so you can see what's going on behind you. You just rotate the mirror. The seat is quite modular, so this is the first safety strap, and then this second pin is what opens the seat. These have a tendency to get folded underneath, and then people will close the seat, and then you can never open the seat again without an immense amount of swearing. So like when you close this, hold that strap out of the way so that you don't lose that strap into the seat compartment. This is where the battery is. This compartment is going to stay warm because of the heat exchanger in the bottom. That's what keeps the battery warm from freezing. It keeps all the controls nice and warm. It'll also mean you'll have warm birch bark as an emergency fire starter.
Now let's talk about the controls.
This is the kill switch. This is the throttle. These are the heating elements. So you've got two heating elements in the handlebars. So these are the handlebar heaters. LED display down here will show a bar like ratcheting up for heat. Don't run them on full heat all the time because you can melt these. This is the up and down for the thumb warmer. So there's also a thumb warmer in here. This orange button is the start button. This is the high and low beam. And then you've got the brake here.
To engage the parking brake, squeeze the brake and then you flip the flag out. To disengage, squeeze the brake, the flag comes in.
This is the key for the snowmobile.
Remember to take the key with you when not in use.
People love to steal these. Key just pops back on there.
Be sure to lock the key on the steering wheel column so you don't lose it in transit.
Sport mode, which gives you the full power range of the engine.
Which is what you should have it on. It is a work sled and you do need that full range of power.
Standard mode, which is mid-range of power, and then there's eco mode, which is much more fuel efficient. If you have it in eco mode or standard mode, you'll get stuck more often. You don't have the horsepower you need to actually do what you need to do.
Some things to remember before you start your sled.
If you get on a sled in the morning and it hasn't been moved, it's a good idea to actually physically break the machine free. You want to break the skis loose, just reach out and just pick the ski up and break it free. Do the same thing over here. And then it's a good idea once you've got the sled started, trying to lever the track free a little bit. Sometimes you'll actually get snow and ice that freeze inside the skid frame. It's a good idea just to scoop it out. You don't have to get everything, but if you get the big chunks out, it won't freeze. This area will tend to build up with ice. You want to just keep that cleaned out because it just gets in the way. It freezes all your stuff to the bottom. It can be a real pain in the butt.
Now we're ready to start the sled. To start the sled, make sure the key is in place, the kill switch is in the up position, the lights are on low beam, the sled is in neutral.
It is critically important that you have it in neutral. If you don't have it in neutral, the sled will try to take off.
And hit the orange button once. This will cycle the lights.
And then when you hit it the second time, the sled will start.
Now let's talk about stopping the engine.
If you're going along and you run into an emergency or you just want to shut the sled off because you're done, you just hit the kill switch and that'll shut the machine off. You want to make sure that you leave the snowmobile on low beam because it uses less amperage, so you're putting more amps to the starter. Generally speaking, if you shut the sled off, sled should be in neutral. So sled goes in neutral, so you absolutely have to put them in neutral. Leave them in neutral.
Storing the sled overnight.
These sleds are very susceptible to water damage, so when you store them, you put the cover on, so that way the heat from the engine doesn't melt snow to actually freeze to the engine compartment. You put the cover on it. If it snows overnight, you won't care. The engine will have dried out and it'll be totally dry.
That concludes Chapter 1 of the AMC Snowmobile training video. Thanks for watching.